Well, I arrived in the United States in October 21st, 1957. And to be quite honest with you, the reason I came is because my father and stepmother and sister had moved over here in the April of '57. And my intent at that time was to continue on to Australia, where I had lived for a couple of years before that. However, arriving in Pittsburgh with $9 in my pocket, my father said, "Get a job." And that was the end of the story. I'm here today.
How did you wind up in Pittsburgh as compared to another city?
They were living in Murraysville, which is a suburb of Pittsburgh. My stepmother had relatives in the Murraysville Golf Course. That's where they were living. And my sister was where, you don't remember this, Thoroughfare Markets. And so anyhow, my first job in the U.S. was at Kaufman's department store downtown, Christmas Rush. And I was in the book department, of all places. And then I got a job at the Thoroughfare Markets as a stock boy. I was 21 years old. And then a company called Weyerhaeuser, Lumber and Plywood Division, called me Christmas Eve 1957, and they were opening up a distribution center in Murraysville and offered me the opportunity to start with them on January the 2nd, 1958. And I did, and I was with them for 27 years. This is what brought me to Lancaster.
Everybody thinks the connection with Armstrong or something was what brought. I know they had a big connection in London.
I did work for Armstrong for a few days, but that's not another story. So I started with them and moved up through the ranks and got transferred out of Pittsburgh in 1966 after we were married in '64. So we just celebrated our 50th anniversary. Moved to Syracuse, New York, and Columbus, Ohio, Massachusetts, North Carolina, and then up here to Lancaster County, where I lived in Bloomingdale, ran the distribution center in Ephrata. And then they were transferring me again to Chicago, and the family said, "We've had enough." So we made the decision to stay here and never regretted it. We've enjoyed living here in Lancaster County, which is part of my heritage, because the name Kirkham is a town in Lancaster, England, and my middle name is Caton. That is a village. And if the name Caton, and there's a table over here, which is the Caton table, you have the opportunity to feed your cattle on the village green, because that's a family name. So that's the story of me arriving here. You asked me about what do I feel. I'll tell you what I said at the last naturalization luncheon. Get involved. I think it's most important for us to give back. Currently, I'm president of the Borough Council in Millersville. I've got 2 days left as president of Lancaster Sonoma Club. I'll be chairman of the board next year. I've been on the local Crossgates board. I've been in the Exchange Club. I'm now on the parish council at St. Philip's here in Millersville. And I think it's so important that you share your opportunities and what you've been able to accomplish with people, and do get involved. And that's what I shared with the people at the last naturalization luncheon. It's a great country. I will say this, I was at the courthouse again this time, and giving out the stuff, and when they tell you to give, you have to give up all allegiance to every sovereign, it still takes you back a bit. It's still a little tough, but you do. And of course, the relationship between the United States and Great Britain has always been great.